All right, so the next thing I plan on doing this machine is just making it a little bit easier to live with every day. One of those things is these, I don't know if I'm even showing them right, but the cubby holes up under here, it's frustrating to me that they don't have nets. So Main Street Cycle actually came through. They have some on their website that you can order. I think they're like 40 bucks. That's them right there. And I'm gonna put those on, but the more important thing I'm gonna do is also I'm gonna put on the turn signal kit. So I've got all the control box, the stalk, and a hazard light switch that all go in. And to do that, I've got to take out a lot of these little push clips here and there and everywhere to get the dash out. And then there's 2 screws over here kind of on the back side. There's one there and one there, which if you notice, they actually clearance that. Props to Segway for doing that. But we'll have to change out the stalk, put the switch in, and then put the piece under the dash. And something about that piece under the dash, I couldn't find the harness, but I got looking and you can actually see it right there. I'm hoping the camera's picking it up because I can't see what's on the screen, but that's the one you have to take and fish back up to the top and then hook into the control box to make it all work. So I'm gonna get working on this and I'll be back shortly. So this part of the turn signal kit right here, it actually, the only reason I know this is because I watched a video on it, you will, which way do I want it to go? Just like that. Slide it down on here. It would help if y'all could see, I'm sure. But basically I have to slide it down on there, get it locked in place somewhere or another on those tabs. I was able to find that harness and pull it up through, get it shoved up there from the passenger side, and get your pliers, put it in right there. So let me fiddle with getting all this unplugged and put together, and I will be back shortly. A, stupid thing to have to explain, but it bothered me. How this little grommet thing was on here from the factory. I couldn't get this whole contraption to sit in the pocket like I wanted it to. But you can take this thing off. Let's see if I can do it with one hand. Slide it off. It's just a little rubber boot type thing. Get it kind of in a position that you like a little bit better, and then slide it down on there. Get it in both tabs, and now I like the cable route. It's not putting anything in a bind. So, all right, so under the hood part's done. Now I just got to take the dash out. So I've been in here working on the inside of the machine, taking all the little push clips to get the dash out. If you don't have one of these push clip tools, buy one. They're like $5. It used to be $5 on Amazon, but they're totally useful. There's a part that goes here. This is for the hazard lights, and there's a 6-prong connector that's built into the harness there. You just clip it in, pop one of these panels out, and you're good to go. If you don't know how to take the head unit out, it's actually really easy. It's got 2 push clips that go in a hole there and then go in the hole there. Once you get those out, the whole thing just picks up and you have full access to everything behind it. So that, I've been able to make it a couple of times, just kind of hang out. There we go. And then you can get that done. Now I've got to figure out how to get in here and get to the harness for the turn signal stalk, which I thought it would be easier to get in through here, but I'm starting to question that. Because there's the plug right there. Let's see if I can get in here and grab it. Is that it? Yep, that's it. I apologize for camera work. But I think this is the connector right here. Either way, it's the one, yeah, that's it right there. It's the one connected to your harness. You kind of tug on wires and figure it out. So let me get in here and get this connector undone and get this changed out, and I'll wrap this up. Back together, got the turn signal stalk installed, got the component under the dash, and the hazard light switch. They're all just kind of hanging in here right now because I don't have any of the bolts in. I want to test it and make sure it works first. So first thing, that had gotten turned on. And the first thing I saw was I've got hazard lights. And if you walk around, you can see them. It actually flashes in the front headlights and also in the tail lights. You see that one there and that one there. But then if you don't have the hazards on, Turn that off. Turn on your left brake signal. It winks at you, so the front driving light, daytime driving light, stays on, and then it turns off the driving light and turns on the blinker on the front. And it's a standard blinker on the rear. Obviously, I'm just checking it here, but I have it turning left and it's blinking left, so nothing fancy to have to do, just factory connectors. Coming from a world where you had to modify and build everything yourself, this is really nice. Let me get it all buttoned up, and I'm gonna start on the cubby hole nets next. So I'm getting ready to install these mesh covers that go in the dash, and I'm glad I read the instructions, because I was sitting here stressed about how I was going to contort myself to get in here and put screws and make sure everything was lined up and square. But they actually recommend you take out all the clips along the top of the bottom section, the cargo section of the dash, and then disconnect the harnesses from the cigarette lighter, pull the whole thing out, and then install it on a bench, which I think I'm going to do, because just getting in here and trying to make it all look square and neat. And it's 10 push clips, they say, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm guaranteeing there's some that's down below it or something, or maybe they were in the back and they're gone now, I don't know. But I'm gonna pull this dash out, or pull this lower part of the dash out per the instructions, and get set up back here to install it, and I'll be back in a second. So if you're like me and you're a little bit OCD, and you get these nets to go over the front cubbies, I noticed, I was like, I'm gonna have to get something to cut that off, that peg, because it's gonna interfere with where it needs to line up. And I got to think about, maybe there's a dimple or something on this thing to show. See, I've already got a hole drilled. When I flipped it over, and you look down in that channel, see if you can zoom in, you'll see a spot. You can see my drill got in there and marred it up, getting to it. But there's actually a little dimple in all 3 sections to give you a spot to know where to drill. I drilled it from the backside and wallered it out pretty good. And now, when I take the centerpiece, I take that peg, let me zoom out. I take that peg, I line it up on there, and it gives me a good point of reference to line this thing up and put all the screws in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these all assembled and pop back in the dash, and I'll let you know how it went. So I was sitting here looking at the directions, and they don't do a good job of explaining it, but you actually, after you get the dash out, you take those screws that they give you, which are these little metal guys, you drill the hole for the post that's on here. It's hard to see because of my lighting here. That post, you have to drill, there's a spot to drill out in the center for that. Let's see if I can get there. You can see through it now. There's one of those on each side, and you're supposed to get it on here and actually screw these in from the back side. So I'm gonna try that and see how it goes, and let you know something here shortly. All right, so I'm all finished up. I know I had a couple of weird issues, like over on these corners, on these outside. It wasn't a problem on the inside pieces, but on the outside piece, I actually had to reach in and bend the tab over to get the screw to line up, because the first one missed. I just went straight through the plastic and didn't actually catch this. So I just flexed it out a little bit with my thumb and then put it all together. And they're very secure. There was like 4 screws per one, and then it had the alignment tab too. So I'm gonna get it all put back in and we'll wrap it up. All right, so I got the lower dash cargo nets installed, which is, I don't know why they don't come with them. Like, just come, it was a $40 part, let it come with it. They wasn't bad to do. There's about 10 push clips across the bottom that you have to take out, and then it's got press fit pins that go in the back. So take them all out. Probably have to take a couple of these loose too to make this movable, because it does nest itself up behind the upper dash piece. But you get all those out and it will pop out. And then, like I said in the other video, there's screw holes, there's a pin hole that you can drill, and it helps you line everything up. It's a nice clean install, shouldn't rattle. And when you're putting it all back together, like I said, just make sure you get the tabs underneath that first, and then it's got push clips that are back in there, and it's kind of hard to see. Come on, focus. There it goes. There's one there, I think there's one over here, there's 2 in the center. So it's, once you get those push tabs in and you get it under here, then all the holes pretty much line up, and then you can put all your push clips back in. But I've got that. I've got the turn signal kit installed. Pretty much, you know, all this stuff you're going to have to do with the dashes out. So while you're taking one part of it out, I'd go ahead and do the rest. But yeah, got it all back together, and I like how it turned out. I'm going to be excited to surprise some people with a horn when I'm out riding on the trail. May go to Bogs and Boulders for Memorial Day weekend. That's probably going to be the big ride I have coming up. I'm going to have to get out here at some point and tack the liners back up for here and get my headlights adjusted whenever I can get some darkness on the dirt road to be able to help line it up. But overall, I'm happy with it. And so we'll see if this YouTube thing pays off some and I can buy some more parts for it. Thanks, guys.